A to Z Mysteries, Mayflower Treasure Hunt, Chapter 7. Chapter 7. Wearing clean jeans and a sweater, Dink sat with Josh and Ruth on the sofa. Ruth had changed into her pajamas, yellow from top to bottom. Josh was wearing fresh sweats. All three still had damp hair. While Dink was showering, his mother had sent out for pizza. Dink grabbed a slice and began eating. He started to talk and nearly choked. Finish eating, his mother said. Now that my heart is beating at normal rate, I can wait a few more seconds to hear your story. 10 minutes later, after the pizza box had been emptied and cleared, the kids told their story. We went to see the Mayflower too, Dink said. A woman on the boat told us about some jewels that got stolen from a passenger. You mean a jewelry theft on the actual Mayflower? His mother asked. In 1620? Dink nodded. That's when the whole story really started, Josh put in. A crew member on the Mayflower stole the jewels, then he disappeared and they were never found. Dink, Josh, and Ruth took turns describing everything that had happened to them that day. Dink's mother's eyes got wide when they told her how they dug up the decaying leather bag and the necklace, but her face turned white when they described how they got trapped in the Mayflower tool hold and happened next. So Ruth had to give the jewels to the old woman who'd been following us, Josh said. After she got the jewels, she threw down the rope ladder so we can get out. And then we ran back here, Dink said. So that's why we're late, Mom. That is the most amazing story I've ever heard, Dink's mother said. Actually, we left a part of the story out, Ruth said. She glanced at Dink and Josh. There is something even you guys don't know. Ruth went across the hall to her bedroom and came holding a sock. She reached a hand into the sock. I didn't give the old woman the Mayflower necklace, she told them. I switched it with that cheap toy I got out the machine this morning. She pulled her hand out of Snock. She was holding the necklace they dug up in Rock Park. Dink, Josh leaped up and gave Ruth a bear hug. You're awesome, he cried. How'd you ever pull it off? I did it when we were hiding down in the hole, Ruth said. I took my necklace up and rubbed it around in that slimy stuff on the floor so it would look like it was in the ground. May I see it? Dink's mother asked. Ruth carefully handed her the necklace. These stones look like sapphires, Dink's mother said. I'm sure this necklace is very valuable. The passenger who brought them onto the Mayflower was Emma Brown, Ruth said. Maybe we can go online and see if she has any relatives, and we can return the necklace. Dink's mother nodded. That's a lovely idea, she said, but for tonight. This is going in the hotel safe. Tomorrow morning, I'll call the local police. They may know the old woman who tried to rob you. That night, Dink dreamed that he was being chased through a blizzard. In his dream, dark, grasping fingers were reaching for him out of the snow. The faster he ran, the more hands appeared, until there were hundreds of fingers, all trying to grab him. Dink bolted upright, with the bed covers twisted around his trembling legs. When he realized he'd been dreaming, he lay back down. He looked over the next bed. Josh was sound asleep. Dink thought he knew why he had that nightmare. The hands belonged to the old woman who'd followed them. Ruth had given her the wrong necklace, and now in Dink's dream she was coming back for the right one. Dink felt certain that this dream would come true. Somehow the woman would come after Dink, Josh, and Ruth again. and this time she wouldn't be fooled. This thought kept him awake for hours. Dick's mom and the kids were finished breakfast in the hotel dining room when the two police officers appeared. They all moved into the lobby, and the kids told their story again. Dink was asked to describe the woman, and he did. The baggy clothing and scraggly hair, the fingerless gloves and cheek mole. Where did you first notice her? One officer asked. On the ferry boat, Dink said. Then everywhere we went, she seemed to be there too. And as far as you know, you never seen her before? Dink shook his head. But she did look familiar, he said. I mean, there was something about her that reminded me of someone else. I can't just figure out who. Did she ever spoke to you? Dink looked at Josh and Ruth Rose. Just when we were in the Mayflower to hold, he said, her voice sounding hoarse, kind of a whispery. Could you get her fingerprints off the basket she lowered to us? Josh asked. We can try, one of the officers asked. Is it still aboard the Mayflower too? Josh nodded. It was there when we left, he said. These jewels, where are they now? The other officer asked. In the hotel safe, Dink's mother said. I called my attorney this morning. He told me they should remain there until we figure out who the rightful owner is. After a few more questions, the officers left. They said they put the word out to watch for this woman. I have go to the restaurant. Dink's mother told the kids. Altogether, there will be 12 of us for dinner tomorrow, and I want to talk to the chef. Then I have to do a few more errands. I shouldn't be too long. Dink's mom looked him in the eyes. Please stay around town. No more ferry boat rides to who knows where, she said firmly. When they were alone, Dink told Josh and Ruth about this dream. I think the woman will come back looking for the real necklace, he said. Well, I don't know about you guys, Josh said, but I don't feel like waiting, Josh, for her to come and find us. I say we go find her first. We don't know who she is, Ruth reminded them. I've been thinking about her, Dink went on, and now I don't think she is really old. There was something weird about her hair, and that mole on her face looked fake. And she managed to get places faster than we did. I think she degoosed herself, so we think she was old. Then who is she? Asked Ruth Rose. I don't know, Dink said, but she must know we could recognize her without the geese. We talked to two women yesterday, Josh said, holding up two fingers. One was working in the Mayflower and she was dressed like a pilgrim. But she didn't know we were going to Provincetown on the ferry, so she couldn't have followed us. And the other woman was in the museum, Ruth Brooks said. Josh nodded. She gets my vote. I borrowed her magnifying glass from her, and she overheard when we were talking about the jewels. Let's go talk to her, Dink said. If she doesn't know we suspect her, she might drop a clue. The kids trekked up the street to the museum. When they walked through the door, Clint came right over to see them. Back so soon? He asked. How are things at the Governor Branfold Hotel? Fine, thanks, Ruth Rose said. Our families are coming tomorrow. She glanced around, but didn't see the woman they were looking for. That woman who was working with you yesterday was real nice, Josh said. We wanted to thank her. Is she around? She comes in at noon to relieve me, Clint said. He was slapping his pockets as if looking for something. Rats, I can't find my mint. He let out a little laugh. Clint needs a mint. A family of tourists came through the door, and Clint went over to greet them. Dink watched Clint walk away. He listened as Clint talked about the museum exhibits and took their money. And suddenly, Dink knew the truth. He grabbed Josh and Ruth Rose, tugging them into another room. What's going on? Dink, you look sick, Ruth Rose said. What's wrong? Dink drew his two friends into a huddle. The old woman is Clint, he said. And that is the end of chapter 7. Is really Clint the old woman who were following Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose yesterday all day from the ferry boat? But why? And why is Dink? No, why does Dink think Clint is the old woman? Look forward for chapter 8.